Number 10. The Krummlauf. During World War II, Nazi Germany developed a unique and inventive device known as the Krummlauf. This was a curved barrel attachment for the STG-44 assault rifle, designed to allow soldiers to shoot around corners without exposing themselves to enemy fire. Maybe it was inspired by this cartoon. However, in reality, the Krummlauf proved it is completely harmless and a farce because of its absurdity. The curved design subjected both the barrel and the bullets to extreme pressure, which often led to the bullets losing accuracy and a significant reduction in velocity, with some even shattering upon exit. The immense force exerted on the bullets as they navigated the curve also caused the barrel to wear out and deteriorate quickly after only a few uses. The device was available in various angles, including 30, 45, 60, and even 90 degrees. Really? They attempted to make bullets curve at a 90 degrees angle. Tell me how to shoot with this stupid thing. Number 9. Vespa 150 Tap. The Vespa 150 Tap was an Italian scooter adapted by French paratroopers for military use in the 1950s. It was outfitted with a 75mm M20 recoilless rifle, a light anti-tank weapon of American manufacture. Although the scooter could not fire the weapon directly, it allowed for rapid artillery transport to the battlefield. The Vespa was light enough to be dropped by parachute into combat zones, making it particularly useful for airborne troops. However, the Vespa 150 Tap was rarely used in practice. It was used primarily by French paratroopers in colonies such as Algeria and Indochina during France's wars of decolonization. Number 8. Bat Bomb. The Bat Bomb, also known as Project X-Ray, was a unique weapon developed by the United States during World War II, based on an idea by Dr. Lytle S. Adams. Rather than dropping traditional bombs, the plan involved releasing thousands of bats equipped with incendiary devices over enemy cities, specifically targeting Japan's wooden houses to start widespread fires. The Mexican free-tailed bat was chosen for its large population and ability to carry a payload. Due to their instinct to roost in dark, enclosed spaces, bats seemed ideal for infiltrating buildings. The bomb would be dropped from a plane, with a casing that opened mid-flight to release the bats. Once they dispersed, the bats would seek shelter within houses. When the timed incendiary devices ignited, the bats would explode and burn the surrounding area. Although tested multiple times, the bat bomb was never actually deployed in combat. Lucky for the innocent bats. Number 7. Anti-tank dog. Yes, you heard it right. They actually intended to use dogs against tanks. In the 1930s, in the Soviet Union, these loyal dogs were cruelly exploited by humans. They were equipped with explosives and trained to run beneath enemy tanks, where the explosives would be triggered by a lever or timer. And boom. Hopefully, they would receive medals afterward. Despite the training, the effectiveness of anti-tank dogs was negligible. One of the main problems was that the dogs were usually trained with stationary Soviet tanks, not with moving enemy tanks. So many became frightened and ran away when encountering the large vehicles and loud explosions on the battlefield. And luckily for the dogs, the program was ultimately cancelled. Number 6. Sticky Bomb. The idea of a weapon that sticks and explodes isn't bad at all. The sticky bomb was a type of improvised anti-tank weapon developed by the British in 1940 during World War II to counter heavily armored German tanks. The sticky bomb consisted of a handle and explosive charge encased within a strong adhesive layer, which was then surrounded by a protective metal shell. Before deploying, soldiers would remove the protective casing and either throw or place the bomb on the tank, where the adhesive would allow it to stick. After a delay of about 5 seconds, the bomb would detonate. Despite its clever design, the sticky bomb had numerous drawbacks in real combat situations. Its effectiveness was reduced by environmental conditions. It wouldn't stick if wet from rain or covered in dust. Additionally, if not handled carefully, the bomb could accidentally stick to the user or an unintended surface, potentially causing self-inflicted harm. Number 5. Japanese balloon bombs. The Japanese were not outdone in strange weapons race. They created balloon bombs, also known as Fugo bombs. Released from Japan in late 1944 and early 1945, these bombs were essentially large hydrogen-filled balloons carrying incendiary and high-explosive devices. Made from paper or silk, the balloons were released into winds that experts calculated would allow them to travel more than 5,000 miles to North America. Each balloon was equipped with a sophisticated altitude control system that allowed it to release sandbags if it dipped too low. A timer was also installed, set to activate the bombs after an estimated time calculated by Japanese experts for the balloons to reach the U.S. The goal was to start large forest fires and divert American military resources. Although meticulously engineered, the plan didn't yield the expected results. Between November 1944 and April 1945, about 9,300 balloons were launched, yet only around 300 were found in the US and Canada. Number 4. V3 Supergun. The V3 Supergun, also known as the London Gun, was one of Hitler's ambitious superweapon projects. It was a massive artillery cannon designed to fire projectiles over extreme distances using a multi-charge principle. Small explosive charges were placed along the barrel and ignited sequentially to accelerate the projectile as it traveled through the gun's barrel. To achieve this, the V3 had an extraordinarily long barrel, over 400 feet, and fired shells weighing 310 pounds. The goal was to bombard London from nearly 100 miles away from fixed positions in France. However, due to its complexity and massive size, the V3 was challenging to produce and vulnerable to attack. Only 2 partially completed V3 guns were set up at the main site in Mimoyec, France. Before the weapon could be deployed, the Allies conducted intense bombings of the site in July 1944, destroying much of the infrastructure. Consequently, the V3 project was abandoned. Number 3. Puckle Gun. The Puckle Gun, invented by James Puckle in 1718, is regarded as a precursor to the machine gun. Puckle developed the gun with the goal of improving naval defense capabilities. It featured a cylindrical magazine that could hold multiple preloaded rounds. The gun had a unique rotating cylinder, allowing it to fire several rounds before reloading. Capable of firing 9 shots per minute, it was significantly faster than the standard single-shot muskets of the time. Puckle designed 2 versions of the gun, one that fired round bullets, intended for use against Christians, and another that fired square bullets, which was believed to be more effective against the Ottoman Turks. However, challenges with production and funding prevented the Puckle gun from being mass-produced effectively. Number 2. Panjandrum. The Panjandrum was a highly experimental weapon designed by the British Admiralty's Directorate of Miscellaneous Weapons Development in 1943. Its purpose was to function as a rocket-propelled explosive wheel, intended to breach fortified beach defenses held by the Germans in France. Constructed with 2 large wheels connected by a central axle filled with explosives, the Panjandrum was propelled by rockets mounted around the wheels. Although ambitious in design, the Panjandrum encountered significant flaws. Tests revealed that the rockets often fired unevenly, causing the device to veer unpredictably. In some instances, it even turned back toward the Allied forces or spun erratically. These erratic and dangerous performances ultimately rendered it too unreliable and hazardous for actual combat deployment. Number 1. Gay Bomb. The gay bomb is a concept for a non-lethal chemical weapon developed by the U.S. Air Force in the 1990s. Researchers at the Wright Laboratory in Dayton, Ohio, proposed it with the aim of neutralizing enemy forces without causing death or long-term harm. The idea behind the gay bomb was to disperse a potent aphrodisiac in vapor form over enemy forces. It would release pheromones or hormones that, theoretically, would create an attraction among enemy troops, disrupting discipline in their ranks and making them lose focus, rendering them unable to fight effectively. This weapon was never developed into an operational prototype and was not deployed in any actual military operations. And that's all I have for this video. Thanks, and see you in the next time.